my dear friends, there comes a moment in life when you look at yourself in the mirror and realize this is not who I want to be and this is not where I want to stay. That moment is not a crisis, it is a calling. A whisper from within that says, your new life can begin if you allow it. Life is an interesting teacher. It doesn't shout, it doesn't drag you, it doesn't force you. It simply gives you moments, subtle moments where your heart nudges you toward change. Maybe you're tired of repeating the same patterns. Maybe you're exhausted by the same mistakes. Maybe you're done carrying the weight of yesterday. But remember this, a seed doesn't become a tree by clinging to the comfort of the soil. It must break, it must push, it must rise. In the same way, your new life begins the day you decide that your old habits, your old fears, your old doubts will no longer define you. And the beautiful truth is, you don't need to change your whole life in one day. You just need to start. One step, one choice, one decision. That is the doorway to transformation. My dear friends, the mind is a strange companion. It clings to the familiar, even when the familiar is painful. It holds on to old habits, old wounds, old labels, simply because they feel safe. You hear people say, this is just how I am, or I've always been like this, or people like me never change. But these are not truths. These are just stories we've rehearsed so often that they begin to sound like reality. The moment you start identifying yourself with your past, you close the doors to your future. You become a prisoner inside the walls built by your own thoughts. Remember, you are not your mistakes, you are not your trauma, you are not the version of you who stumbled yesterday. You are the one who survived, the one who endured, the one who is still standing and still growing. Every morning life hands you a blank page, but most people rewrite the same old chapter not because they must, but because they forgot they can choose a new one. When you detach from your old identity, your questions change. You stop asking, who have I been? And you begin asking, who can I become? And that shift, my friends, changes everything. It moves your heart from guilt to growth, from doubt to possibility. Your actions change, your words change, your thoughts slowly begin to change. Transformation doesn't begin with noise. It begins quietly, within your perception of yourself. A caterpillar thinks life is ending, but a master knows its transformation. You're not collapsing, you're evolving. But to evolve, there must be release. Release of anger, of fear, of insecurity, even if it feels uncomfortable. Detachment is not rejection, it is redirection. You're not abandoning who you were. You're gently releasing what no longer nurtures who you are becoming. Many people never begin their new life simply because they keep dragging their old one along. They cling to their reputation, their failures, their fears, wondering why their feet feel so heavy. But tell me, how can you fly if you refuse to drop what weighs you down? How can you step into a new version of yourself while still wearing the clothes of your past? Start small. Shift your self-talk. Instead of saying, I'm always anxious, say, I'm learning peace. Instead of saying, I'm terrible at relationships, say, I'm learning to love with awareness. You don't need perfection to grow, you only need direction. Every identity you've worn, the strong one, the broken one, the confused one, the silent one, served you. It protected you when protection was needed. But now it's time to thank those versions and gently let them rest, because your new life cannot begin while you are busy defending a person you no longer are. Detach with compassion. Not anger, not bitterness. Smile at the memories. Forgive the failures. Bless the lessons, then walk forward. Every time you release a piece of your old identity, you make space for your true self to rise. You are not meant to be a repeat of yesterday. You are meant to be renewed, aware, alive, awakened. The question is not, can I change? The real question is, am I willing to let go of who I was to become who I'm meant to be? And the moment you whisper yes, even softly, transformation begins. A new life does not wait for a new year. It waits for a new mindset. Sometimes the tighter you try to control life, the more it slips away. We've all tried to micromanage every detail, predict every outcome, secure every path. But life doesn't unfold that way. It is not a straight road. It is a graceful dance between holding on and letting go. We live in a world that glorifies control, but wisdom teaches surrender. We all try to prepare for everything. And yes, planning has its place. But there comes a moment when you realize that no matter how carefully you plan, life will not always follow your blueprint. Some paths are meant to break, some people are meant to leave, some doors are meant to close. Not because you're unlucky, but because something greater is quietly unfolding behind the scenes. When you hold on too tightly, you stop the natural flow of life. You block the blessings that are trying to reach you. Control, my dear friends, is rooted in fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of loss, fear of failure. And here's the paradox. The harder you try to control life, the more life begins to control you. True peace begins the day you whisper to yourself, I don't need to control everything. I can trust that life will be okay. Think about nature. The river doesn't fight to stay straight. It bends, it flows, it adapts. The tree doesn't demand the storm to stop. It stands, it sways, and it survives. And yet, we humans want every day to be perfect, every person to understand us, every situation to work exactly as we imagine. But what if the beauty of life isn't in its predictability, but in its mystery? What if the chaos you resist is actually shaping something beautiful for you? Sometimes life falls apart not because it is broken, but because it is rearranging itself into a better pattern. The delay that frustrates you, the detour that confuses you, the heartbreak that shatters you, they're all part of a divine choreography. You just cannot see the full dance yet. Letting go of control does not mean giving up. It means giving in not to defeat, but to trust. It is saying, I will do my best and I will let life do the rest. Your effort matters, but so does timing. Sometimes the doors that don't open are saving you from rooms you were never meant to enter. When you stop forcing, you begin to flow. You notice small miracles, a conversation that inspires, an opportunity that appears when least expected, a moment of peace that finds you when you finally exhale. That is life whispering, see, I've got you. Say it aloud. Control is heavy, surrender is light, control is fear, surrender is faith. Faith that what is meant for me will never miss me, and what misses me was never meant for me. The greatest relief comes when you stop trying to make everything make sense. You do not need to understand every ending. You do not need to fix every situation. You do not need to know every step before taking the first one. All you need is trust. Trust that you're being guided even when the path feels uncertain. A strange peace arrives when you stop manipulating outcomes. Life no longer feels like a fight, it feels like a flow. You breathe again, you feel again, you are alive again. And in that space, new possibilities begin to appear, not because you forced them, but because you made room for them. Let go. Let go of the need to control people, situations, timing. Let go of the thought that everything depends on you. You are not the manager of the universe. You are a participant in its unfolding. Sometimes what feels like losing control is a reminder that you never needed it. What seems like chaos may actually be alignment. And when you stop trying to control everything, you discover a profound truth. Life does not need your control to bless you. It only needs your openness. Let go not because you are tired, but because you are wise enough to know that peace lies on the other side of surrender. Surround yourself with growth, because no matter how disciplined, motivated, or strong you are, your environment will shape who you become. You can have the most magnificent vision, but if your surroundings are filled with limitations, your wings will feel too heavy to fly. Growth is not just an individual journey, it is an environment you cultivate moment by moment, choice by choice. Who you spend your time with matters, what you feed your mind daily matters. The energy that surrounds you shapes your future. A seed only grows in good soil. Even the strongest tree cannot thrive in toxic ground. The same is true for you. Step away from what no longer serves your evolution, not out of rejection, but out of growth. Protect your energy. Feed your mind with wisdom, your heart with kindness, and your life with purpose. And remember, growth is not just absorbing, it is also radiating. Be the friend who listens without judgment, who encourages without envy, who celebrates without comparison. Life is too precious to dim your light to fit in. Go where your soul stretches, not where it shrinks. Surround yourself with growth, and if you cannot find it yet, become it. Read, learn, heal. Once you grow, your energy naturally attracts others who are growing too. Discipline is the door to freedom. It may sound paradoxical, but it is true. The most free, peaceful, and purposeful people are guided by discipline, not by fleeting motivation. Discipline is what keeps you moving when inspiration fades. It is choosing calm when your emotions want to react, rising when your body wants to rest, and learning when your mind wants to pause. And when you live this way, trusting, letting go, surrounding yourself with growth, practicing discipline, you create a life where miracles happen not because you force them, but because you are ready to receive them. You transform, your environment transforms, your future transforms. And one day, you look around and realize the inner critic that once held you captive no longer has a voice. You are free. Joy doesn't come from getting, it comes from giving. The moment you shift from what can I get to what can I offer, your life begins to change. Most of us chase attention, validation, money, recognition, fragile sources of happiness that rise and fall with circumstances. But when you focus on giving your time, your presence, your kindness, something extraordinary happens. You find a peace that no achievement can replace. Giving doesn't require grandeur. It can be as simple as listening deeply, offering encouragement, sharing knowledge, or smiling at someone who looks weary. Every act of giving is an act of love, and love always multiplies. When life is only about me, your world becomes small. But when life is about how can I serve, your world expands, your heart grows, and emptiness fades. Many believe they have nothing to give, but the greatest gifts cost nothing: a kind word, a gentle gesture, a moment of care. Even the smallest act can ripple farther than you imagine. Giving changes the giver as much as the receiver. When you lift someone else, your own heart lifts too. When you bring light to others, your path brightens. But true giving comes from strength, not weakness from overflow, not emptiness. It is chosen, not forced. Joy, not guilt, keeps the heart full. Your life becomes a message. Your pain becomes empathy. Your experience becomes wisdom. Your actions become blessings. And the most beautiful truth, giving doesn't just change the world, it transforms you. It softens, humbles, and awakens the divine within the part of your soul that remembers, I am here to make a difference. So stop asking, what's in it for me? Start asking, what can I give? My dear friends, your new life doesn't begin when everything outside is perfect. It begins the moment you decide to let go of fear, to trust yourself, and to step forward with purpose. It begins when you stop waiting for permission for the right moment or for someone else to change your world. It begins when you embrace who you are with all your strengths, all your flaws, and all your possibilities. Your new life starts when you stop trying to control everything and start allowing life to guide you. It starts when you choose growth over comfort, contribution over comparison, and love over judgment. Remember this, You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know every step. All you need is one small step today, one choice, one action, one moment of courage. Because life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Your new life is here. It's now. It's waiting for you to take it with an open heart, a willing mind, and a soul ready to grow. Say to yourself, I'm ready, I'm capable, I'm enough, my new life starts here. And then take the first step.